Summerlin, Henderson, Aliante, North Las Vegas. What are all these places? If you are new to the Las Vegas area or thinking about moving to Las Vegas, then you are probably asking the million-dollar question. What's the best neighborhood to live in Las Vegas? I'm gonna do my best here to give you an honest breakdown of the neighborhoods here in Las Vegas because it is pretty important to know which ones to feel okay in and which ones to kind of avoid. So we're gonna cover all of that in this video. I feel like for a video like this on this channel that it's especially important to be honest about the neighborhoods because if you didn't know, realtors actually can't legally tell you or give their opinions on certain things. And I know this because my mom has actually been a realtor for pretty much my whole life. She's gonna be also coming out with a YouTube channel soon on buying houses in Las Vegas and renting houses in Las Vegas with tips and stuff like that. So be on the lookout for that. I'll keep you guys updated because I'm gonna be helping her out with it. We're gonna make sure to get you a lot of good information on the whole buying and selling deal out here in Vegas. But again, my thoughts are in no way affiliated with her views or her opinions. All of these are my own. But yeah, if you ask your realtor what's the best neighborhood to live in Las Vegas, you're not going to expect a straight answer. They'll kind of like dance around or maybe hint at things. By the way, if you're new to my channel, my name is Sunshine. I've lived here for over 10 years. In this channel, I give my thoughts, tips, and advice on living in Las Vegas. So with that, let's get started. So first things first, in order to understand what the best neighborhoods are in the city, you kind of have to understand the layout of the city. The first basic thing that you need to know is our main freeway called the I-15. It runs straight down the middle of Las Vegas and it kind of divides our city in half. So on the west side of the I-15 you have the west side of town, and on the east side of the I-15 you have the east side of town. Pretty simple, but the I-15 pretty much is our divider between west and east. So when you hear me refer to Las Vegas like that, then just kind of understand that that's how it works. And then regarding north and south Las Vegas, this isn't a really canonized thought, but for me, I would consider anything north of the Las Vegas Strip and downtown, North Las Vegas, and then anything south of the Las Vegas Strip, southern part of Las Vegas. So you got the 15 dividing west and east, and then you got the strip / downtown dividing north and south. All right, so now that we got Las Vegas Geography 101 out of the way, let's get to the chase and get to why you're all here, which is wanting to know what the universally understood nice neighborhoods of Las Vegas are. So when you say nice parts of Vegas, then automatically what the average local, I would think, thinks of is Summerlin, Centennial, Henderson / Green Valley, and the southwest part of town. When you're talking about nice neighborhoods here, it really is a spectrum. So you have like decently nice to bougie, Floyd Mayweather, celebrity Nicolas Cage type houses because they do live here. So it does range from this to that. I personally have kind of lived all over town and got to experience quite a few different neighborhoods around here, but in my experience, a big piece of advice that I would give right off the bat when looking for a place to live in Las Vegas is to find a location that is close to the freeway. Seriously, you can thank me later, but that is going to just cut down your commute time by so much if you can find a place that is really close to the freeway, because since we only have like 3 major freeways over here, then there are parts of town where you could live in a house that's maybe like 15 or 20 minutes away from the freeway. So that's pretty much just like 15 or 20 minutes added onto your commute of you just getting to the nearest freeway to get to your next destination. So that's always something that I really look for when I'm trying to find a place to rent or a place to live in Vegas is it close to the freeway? Cool? Okay, we're moving. Again, these areas I just mentioned are kind of like the universally understood nice areas of town, but if I had to personally rank them based completely just off of my own preference, I would rank Henderson as number 1, and then my next preference would probably be the southwest part of town, and then Summerlin, and then Centennial. It's not that any of these places is necessarily like better than the other, but I will say Henderson is statistically one of the most safest cities, which by the way, Henderson is actually its own city, so your address would be Henderson if you lived here. It is statistically one of the safest neighborhoods in America. It has been deemed so time after time. And really when we're talking about living in larger cities, really no place that you go is going to be perfect or 100% crime free, but Henderson is your go-to for lower crime rates and such. Summerlin was one of those places, but I have noticed in recent years just more and more crime happening in Summerlin. I don't have any official stats or research to back that up, so don't come at me for that, but from my observations, I've just been seeing that there are some parts of Summerlin that have been getting more crime. Doesn't make it a bad place to live at all. Seriously, you just drive to Summerlin one time and you'll see that it is a beautiful neighborhood. It has a lot of really nice shopping centers and plazas. It's well groomed, as are all the nice places in Vegas. There are actually trees. I feel like that's an indicator of a nice neighborhood. Is if it has a lot of trees and lawn manicuring and maintenance, then yeah, that place probably has a nice HOA or budget. But yeah, let's not talk about HOAs right now because they're no fun. That's another topic for another day. I've never lived in the southwest part of town, but I know a lot of people that live there and a lot of people that love it. There are a ton of really great businesses around there. IKEA's over there, so that's fun. But yeah, that is a generally pretty nice and quiet part of town. There are a lot of families that live in the southwest. That is a bit of a more like family sort of community from what I understand. Centennial, it has been a minute since I have lived in Centennial, but back when I lived there like 10 years ago pretty much, it was still very much a developing part of town. It was where a lot of newer housing and development projects were, and from what I know, I don't really go up there very often just because it's kind of far, honestly, and just really out of the way. And by the way, what I mean by far and out of the way is probably like 30 minutes from the Strip, because in Vegas speak, 30 minutes is far, okay? That's how it is around here. Your average commute is like 20 to 25 minutes, so anything exceeding that is far. But yeah, from what I understand, the Centennial area is pretty poppin'. There's a lot of really cool businesses and things popping up over there. I'd say the newest housing projects and developments are over in the Centennial area. So if that's something you're looking for, then I would definitely go check out that area. One place that's not really on this map right here is Aliante, but I would also highly recommend the Aliante area. So Centennial is more northwest and Aliante is more kind of just like straight north. But there are a lot of newer houses over there as well. And then there's the Aliante Casino and Hotel, which has a movie theater and a pool and a buffet and really well enjoyed little local casino for folks in that area. It's pretty nice over there too. Lots of greenery, that's how you know. When you got green in the desert, you know someone had to put it there. So that's a very summarized kind of explanation of the nicer neighborhoods. I could really go deep into explaining those areas a little bit more, which, hey, maybe I might. If you're subscribed, then you can find out if that's a future video. Just let me know if that's something that you want me to talk about more. But Henderson really is its own talk, and that's something that I would like to address in a separate video. So again, make sure that you stay tuned for that. But we're gonna go ahead and move on just for the sake of time. The areas that I would definitely avoid, according to this map, first off, the Paradise area, which is basically the surrounding part of the Las Vegas Strip. Funny little thing about Paradise is I don't think anyone actually in Vegas knows what Paradise is. I didn't know necessarily what Paradise was until I looked at this map to make this video. So shout out map, because I've gone my whole life here not knowing what Paradise is, but you'll see that when you check into a place, or sometimes like the addresses of places will say like Paradise, Nevada, and you're like, where, Nevada? So Las Vegas locals, if you're watching, let me know if you can relate to that one. But yeah, I would stay away from that surrounding area of the Strip. It's just, not gonna lie, it's pretty sketchy. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I love UNLV and everything, but if you happen to be going to UNLV is in the Paradise area on the street called Maryland, and that area, I'm sorry to break your hearts, but I gotta be real with you. You just gotta know the facts. It is pretty sketchy out there. There's cop cars everywhere all the time. There's a good amount of crime, but that should absolutely not deter you from going to UNLV, because it is a fantastic school. I really enjoyed my time there. And the student housing options are actually really great, pretty much like luxury living around there, and so they do take safety as a top priority. I would not let that deter you from going to that school. They didn't pay me to say that. I just think that it's important to kind of have an idea or understand that that's something that you have to deal with. This map refers to this part of town as Sunrise, but we all over here just kind of call it East Las Vegas. But yeah, definitely the Sunrise area. There is just not really any good part of that area. I would also avoid the Nellis Lamb area. Definitely don't recommend that. If you're on the hunt for like apartments or houses, you might see some really enticing properties in that area for dirt cheap, and you might be wondering, is this too good to be true? Yeah, it is. It's because it is really not in a good part of town. It's not my intent to like trash talk any parts of town that people who live there might be in, but like I said, I'm gonna be real. I just would not personally go out and live there. Okay, so North Las Vegas. North Las Vegas really gets a bad rap. If you talk to anyone around here and they hear North Las Vegas, they're just like, oh, North Las Vegas. You know, there's even like a local meme around here where Simba is looking over the Pride Lands with Mufasa and he's like, Mufasa's like, everything the light touches is yours, or is our kingdom. And then Simba's like, but what about that shadowy place? And then in the movie, Mufasa goes, that's an elephant graveyard. You must never go there. But in the meme, it's like, that's North Las Vegas. You must never go there. Which I totally understand where it's coming from, but I think it's more referring to like that kind of like Nellis Lamb area. But honestly, the only parts of North Las Vegas that I would say to avoid are the parts that are east of the I-15 or even MLK, and then the parts that are south of Craig Road. But other than that, the further north you go, the nicer it gets. That's where Oleante is. That address is North Las Vegas. North Las Vegas is also like Henderson, where it is its actual own city, so your address would be North Las Vegas as opposed to Las Vegas or Henderson. So yeah, that's a little rundown of places that I would avoid. And then just to expound a little bit, you have the really bougie part of towns, and really with that, the way that that kind of works is the further towards the edges of the city you get, the nicer and more expensive it gets. So yeah, the most sort of like affluent neighborhoods are Southern Highlands, pretty much the most western parts of Summerlin. I mean, Summerlin's already nice, but yeah, Summerlin is just a whole mix of bad and bougie. Okay, I'm sorry, that was so millennial of me. But yeah, a lot of celebrities, for example, Floyd Mayweather and Nicolas Cage, I believe they live in the Summerlin area, kind of in the Queens Ridge. I don't know why I keep doing this with my hand, but sort of in the Queens Ridge, sort of Rampart area. Mike Tyson apparently lives in the Seven Hills area of Henderson, which is kind of close to Southern Highlands. If the neighborhood has a country club, then that's how you know that they have made it. That's as good as it gets. Honorable mention. So these are places that were not mentioned in the nice neighborhoods section of this video, but they're still pretty decent places to live and where I would personally live as well. So I've heard a lot of good things about Whitney Ranch. No complaints over there. I was actually looking for a place to live around like the Russell Pecos area at one point, and it seems really nice. You know, it just seems very okay and quiet. It's not the best of the best, but hey, it works. West Charleston Street, kind of heading in towards Summerlin. It's really just like bordering Summerlin. I actually lived on the crossroads of Charleston and Alta at one point and really enjoyed it. The way that my roommates and I went about that when we were looking for that place and decided to settle at that house that we were renting is to just look up the crime rates in the area. And it was an area that was generally perceived to not be like that nice, but it was really low in crime rates and there hadn't been a crime there in many, many years, and we loved it. And most of our neighbors were elderly folk, and we were close to the freeway, as well as tons of really awesome businesses and restaurants. So boom. Ugh, one of my dream neighborhoods to live is the Rancho Okie area. Now that area is, from what I understand, pretty expensive, and also there's like no availability because those are kind of like the OGs of Vegas that got just the nicest part. Location-wise, it's pretty central to everything. You're pretty much a 20-minute drive from any point in the city, and it's like the medical district where there's just a lot of hospitals and nursing schools and things like that, and so it's also a little bit corporate, but a lot of those homes are the more historic homes, a lot older, and also pretty nice, so they can get pretty pricey. There's just not really a lot of places to rent or buy from in that area. But in a perfect world, that's probably where I would want to live. And then there's Spring Valley, aka the Chinatown area, which, by the way, that's another video I'm gonna have to do, or just the best places in Chinatown, because love our Chinatown. The Spring Valley area is actually an area that I had been looking into for a while when I was on my last home/apartment hunt, and I really liked a lot of the properties around here. The crime rates are pretty low, it's pretty quiet, and then you're close to Chinatown, so that means close to 24-hour food runs, because anything that you want to eat is open all the time in Chinatown. But the only thing that really deterred me from living there is that that area is pretty far from the freeways. You do have to drive quite a bit to get to any freeway. So yeah, when I just did the math with my commute with work and everything, it just getting to the freeway just added an extra 10 to 15 minutes to my commute, which I didn't like. So, but yeah, if that's not something that matters to you, then I would definitely recommend taking a look at that area. All right, so that's all I have for you in this video. I tried to do my best to keep it as simple as possible, because I know that things can get kind of technical when you've lived here for a while, and so hopefully I was able to give you guys that rundown in a way that you could easily digest and not just, whoa, what is all this local slang? But yeah, if you have any more questions on a specific area, just let me know, as always, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!